You a big Paul Treatham fan there, Jenna?
All those names.
Paul Treatham. So he's the guy in episode 4 who is up in the command deck of the Death Star, overlooking where the Falcon gets taken in, and when they storm into the command deck there, he's the first guy that gets knocked out by Chewbacca. I think he's got some mad, sick chops on the side of his head. And he's the one who's like, oh, there's something wrong with the comm systems. I'm going down to investigate. That's Paul Treatham. Good guy.
Obviously.
He's not dead. They just kind of knocked him out. So he could make a return, except he was on the Death Star when it blew up, so maybe not. All right, Jenna, well, great news over here. I did what I set out to do. Come check this place out.
Okay, I'm coming.
I did what I came to do. I built this place for you.
You saw, you did moderately well.
So
no, this is awesome.
If you've got a hoe,
Whoa.
you can begin the tilling process and plant whatever seeds you like over here.
I put it in the chest. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Run. Okay.
I'm actually starting to get a little bit hungry, though, so I think I'm going to have one of our mini apples.
Oh, yeah. I'm on, like, my last 3 little mutton chop thingies.
Oh, yeah. You're going to want to eat up. You've been doing a lot more work than I have, so I think you're going to...
I've been toiling away today.
Toiling away the hours? Conversing with the flowers?
Consulting with the rain?
What are the lines from the Wizard of Oz?
That's what I am singing.
Wait, he doesn't converse with the rain. He converses with the flowers.
Said consulting with something.
Consulting with the flowers, maybe.
No.
Who consults with the rain? Like, what's the rain got to say about anything?
The rain is very wise.
Is it? I guess it's seen a lot, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
It falls from the sky and then it dies.
No, it falls down, it goes back up, rinse and repeat.
Falls
very
down. And then it couldn't believe that its first love wouldn't be around. And the rain is like,
sad.
baby. Oh. Yeah, that's what it's like.
Plant grass.
What'd you say?
Do we need to plant grass?
Not yet. We're going to have to build a special area to spawn creatures on using grass. I'll tell you what, though. I guess the next thing I'm going to have to do, because we've sort of reached a dead end on this one. We're going to need to get bones. So if you want to keep just making a lot of dirt, I'm going to head off into this direction and build a place for monsters to spawn, and it has to be kind of far away from us. So off I go. I'm just going to go maybe... Yeah, we can keep talking. I mean...
See you later,
we have a
Skater.
headset. So, did you call me Slater?
No, I said Skater.
I thought you said Slater, as in like Christian Slater or something along those lines.
Nah.
And I couldn't figure out why you were calling me Christian Slater. Because...
See you later, Slater.
See you later, Christian Slater. What's he in? Can you name anything with Christian Slater in it?
I don't know who that is.
I think he's an actor. Or maybe he does a talk show. Or maybe I don't actually know.
You just made that up.
Christian Slater's a real person.
I don't believe it.
How dare you say that about Christian Slater?
You liar.
He has such a breadth of work that is both
challenging
and mesmerizing. He's a handsome lad, maybe. He might not be.
You know nothing.
Look, Christian Slater's a real person. Maybe he's a director. Has Christian Slater ever directed a film?
No.
I bet you he dated 6 Slaters from tomorrow. He dated? He produced. I don't know why.
He did what now?
He dated 6 Slaters from tomorrow, which is a film about him and his septuplet kin.
Okay.
I'm making all this up, Jen. I don't know if you could tell.
I would believe it.
Yeah, well, his septuplets, is that 6 of them?
Yes.
You don't know, do you? You're doing this again.
I'm making things up.
You're just agreeing with me. You can't do that. Listen, the reason you're here is to keep me in check, because I'm likely to...
Rees, you idiot! I'm keeping you in check.
That's village idiot to you, miss. Thank you.
Rees, you village idiot.
I think that I might be far enough away from you. I'm going to have to count the spaces. Do you remember which one of these blocks is our original block? One of these blocks of... Well, me either. We have to... I think it has to be at least 20 or 25 blocks away from our original block of dirt.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say it's one of these two, just so we can be on the safe side. So this is 1, 2... I'm going to have to count this out loud, by the way.
Oh,
3,
okay,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to this chest. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
27, 34.
Darn it, Buzz. Stop that. That's from Home Alone. Home Alone gag there for the folks at home.
No, that's not what I wanted.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you disliked Home Alone that much.
I love Home Alone.
I was gonna say, I thought you were a big Home Alone head. Is that that's the term for the fans of Home Alone? Okay, I know exactly how to build a monster spawner. I've done this a few times, so trust me on this one. I know what I'm doing.
I don't trust you.
Well,
on this.
How is that different than just normal?
Just normal life. Just a severe distrust.
I'm going to need a whole bunch of wood, so if you've got any to spare, if you could put it in the chest, that would mean the world to me, Jenna.
Well,
also,
it's
technically nighttime, so I'm going to go take a nap so we can build in the day. I think it's just me that has to be here, though. I don't know if we both have to take a nap. Oh, but you did. That's cool. I could see you get into bed over there. That was interesting.
It's just very exciting.
It's such a thrill to watch you go to bed and just sleep. I was like, this is great.
That's why people try to break into my house.
I love to watch women sleep. What can I say?
It was you.
It was me. Do you want to talk about this? Is this a story you want on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. It happened.
Okay, all right. So, where do you begin with that story? The night we went to go see Solo, I guess.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about Han Solo, a Solo story?
I quite enjoyed it. I didn't like the part where they, killed off everyone except Han Solo, including Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to bring him back now.
I feel like it's going to be hard to come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, he was such a good character. I thought he could have been in some more movies, but...
I know. I feel like they really could have gone somewhere with him and had him, develop as a person.
Yeah, like maybe he takes on some responsibilities or something. Maybe he starts a small business.
When Chewbacca died, I swear, I almost cried.
Yeah.
I was, so close.
So how does that work? Because there is a Wookiee named Chewbacca in the original trilogy.
Well, see, that was his... In space, you can clone yourself and keep it in this nice little, chamber thing.
Like a clone army.
If you don't come check on it every 5 years, it'll just wake up and start roaming.
Oh, so it's a clone of Chewbacca.
Yes.
It's a clone Bacca.
Yeah, that was a reach.
Listen. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked that, though. I liked the fact that they killed Chewbacca, because it was very unexpected.
Yeah, I feel like no one thought... I feel like the number one thing I took from this film was... unexpected. That was the word that was on my lips.
Like when Darth Maul showed up at the end, and he has robot legs. I was like, well, I'll take that Chewbacca's dead, and that Lando Calrissian. I guess he's also a clone in the other movies. Doesn't he come back?
No, that's his son.
Oh,
Lando. He makes it known that he gets around. I'd like to believe he has a son somewhere.
Probably with a robot. So I mean, I could accept all that, but then Darth Maul at the end, I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah. That was just bizarre. That was a reach.
I mean, he has come back in the cartoons, but that's a cartoon. That's a little bit different. So,
right.
You know what's great
no one takes
is if you haven't
seriously.
seen the movie. if you haven't seen the movie, you're listening to us talk right now, and you're just like, these idiots. But the thing is, Darth Maul is actually in the movie.
Rees, spoilers!
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's been out for like a couple of weeks now. Who knows when this is...
you get on to me for Austin Powers?
Well, when is this video coming out, honestly? How long is it going to take for me to edit this? It's going to be like...
months.
I mean, we're recording this in 2016, for crying out loud, so...
You're right.
I'm not even sure if we're allowed to say that Lucasfilm let us watch.
I'm still in high school and young and full of hope.
Yeah, and also your hair is a lot blonder. Let's see, 1, 2,
my not
3,
naturally
4,
blonde.
5,
Oh, right.
6,
So I remember how we got on this
9,
conversation.
10. Oh, yeah. So we get home from watching Solo, a Han Solo story. I drop you off at your house.
Right.
Where you're alone because your family was on vacation.
Abandoned me.
Yeah, because they don't like you. That's canon. We've confirmed that.
Yes.
And you go out. So it's pretty late. You're there by yourself. You have to go feed your sister's horse. And then you chase down a cat in the driveway, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, so at this point, while you're doing this, I'm winding down. I'm starting to get into bed. And before we go any further, do you have any wood?
Yes, I do. Would you like it?
Could you come put it in this chest, please? I'm almost done over here. It's actually going a lot faster than I figured it would.
There we go.
Thank you. And so I'm going to bed, and I don't remember what the last message I sent you was, but I remember what the first one I read was the next morning. Do you want to... So
I am getting in bed, and I'm I'm texting Rees, and then he stops answering. I'm like, okay, so he probably fell asleep.
Which
and
happens.
Then
I sleep at night.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
So sorry.
And I was like, I'm gonna watch one more YouTube video. That's always a lie. And then I'll go to bed.
Well, that's what we tell ourselves. Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden, I hear the doors start rattling and like someone turning the doorknob. And I live pretty far out. I'm not near whole lot of people.
Far out, man.
So I was like, okay, well, maybe it was my imagination, like it could have been nothing. But then my dog, not my dog, it's my mom's dog, and she hates me for
German
unknown
Shepherd.
reasons.
Big dog.
Big German Shepherd
Big
who
wuss.
hates me. She like starts flipping out and like won't leave my side, which is very weird for her. For a dog that despises me.
Yeah.
And she's like barking and freaking out. Also, my cat runs to the door and she's flipping out. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's trying to break into my house. And so obviously I jump back in bed. I grab my phone and I'm like, Rees, someone's trying to break into my house.
Yeah. So
and then
again,
I sent another text that was like, I think they're still there. And then I went to bed.
My gosh, that's still listening to that story today. It still just amazes me that was your instinct, was to be like, well, Rees isn't answering.
Mechanism.
I'll go to sleep, I guess.
Yeah. I figured if you thought it was fine, then nothing to worry about.
I was asleep. How could I
know.
How could I say it was fine?
Well, you didn't answer. I was like, if it was really important,
What?
someone would answer.
What?
So I just went to bed.
This is the part of this you should have called.
No, I was like, he's asleep. We had a long day. It's fine. If someone breaks in, I have a gun.
We do live in Texas, so that's...
Yeah, I mean, I was prepared.
You had a gun. The dogs all had a gun. The cat was probably... I mean, I wouldn't give that cat a gun.
The cat had a dagger. Let's be realistic. I wouldn't trust her with a gun. Sorry.
Whoa, Jenna, language. There are kids watching this.
Sorry.
What's the problem?
I was trying to make a hooky thing, and I accidentally made shears out of habit. Continue.
Hooky? Oh, a crook.
Yeah, crook.
Okay. See, when you say hooky, what I automatically think of is that episode of SpongeBob, where SpongeBob... you've seen, one episode of SpongeBob?
One episode.
Where they play hooky, but playing hooky literally means playing on hooks.
Of course. Because the show makes no gosh dang sense.
But you enjoyed it, don't lie.
Uh-huh.
You enjoyed that show. That was a fun time.
It was interesting.
What were we talking about?
You wake up the next morning.
So I wake up the next morning and I look over at my phone. I've just got this string of texts from Jenna. Hey, don't forget you can use you can use the...
Oh, right.
Yeah. I got the string of text messages from Jenna just saying... I mean, I don't really remember what you said, but I read it as, help, I'm dying. I'm going to be dead in the morning by the time you read this. Like, that's what I read. And
yes.
I'm not sure if that's what you actually said, but that's what I read.
I feel like that's an exaggeration. If I went to bed, I don't think that was my first thought.
Well, that was my first thought. It was like, oh no, Jenna's dead. What have I done? Shouldn't have gone to sleep. My fault.
It's all your fault.
I tried to text you back, and then I immediately tried to call you a couple of times.
Yeah, you text. I woke up to so many texts and phone calls. My word.
And so you didn't reply. So naturally,
I was asleep.
Well, you could be dead though.
Okay, well, yeah, but still.
So I jump out of bed. I throw on my clothes. I'm in my car, and finally you call back, and you're just real chill, hey, I'm not dead or anything.
No.
Yeah.
I was just someone tried to break in last night. I called you back. I was like, hello.
You sounded very tired.
Yes.
And I thought for sure you were going to get on to me for calling you, having the audacity to call you and
in
make sure
the
you
morning.
weren't dead. Well, I know how you feel about the morning, so...
It's not great.
But you were okay.
I was fine. It was weird because, I don't know. We live so far out. We never had, a break-in or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was just the fact that I was like, oh my gosh, there's someone outside my house. They're trying to get in. Oh, and so the most bizarre part of this story, the next morning.
Yes, this part.
I get sent a link
from your sister.
From my sister to a news story saying that a guy had broken into another girl's house. He didn't try to force his way in. There was an unlocked door.
Yeah.
And he just came in and watched her sleep really calmly. And so we're thinking it was that same guy, because he didn't try to force his way into my house either.
And then when she woke up, he just tried to have a conversation with her, like, stop, just watching you have a nap. It's like, that's real creepy, dude. Listen, what I think we're getting at here is we make a lot of jokes about tips, for getting a girlfriend and stuff. But number one tip, don't start off your relationship by just stealthily watching a girl sleep. It's
not great.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, it'll be real great. She'll be vulnerable and real with me.
Edward from Twilight.
Yeah, listen, that's not... Girls don't... I can't speak for all women, as I'm not a woman, but... Don't. I don't think most of them are going to like that.
But
Bella, maybe she'll like that, but you gotta find that girl. And you need to confirm with her.
Bella's a preferred piece of white toast.
Wow.
White bread, not toast. Toast would make her too interesting.
Toast is like crunchy and delicious and good with cheese, but I wouldn't want to eat Bella with cheese.
Butter, no.
Oof, butter. Don't even get me started on that. That's what Bella needs, just a bit of butter.
I feel like the number one takeaway from this story is
if someone's trying to get in your house,
fall asleep.
Call Rees or the police if you don't have a Rees nearby. I don't live that far from you.
I was talking to a lady later that day, and she was telling me, like, well, you should have called the police. And I was like, yes, ma'am. I was like, I got no explanation. Okay. I know I should have, and I didn't.
Your mom stopped me in church, like, the following Sunday, and it's just like, thanks for... trying to, take care of Jenna while we were gone because they were out of town. I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know why she didn't call me. And your mom's just like, I don't know why she didn't call the police. And I was like, well, there's two types of people in the world. There's Jenna, and then there's everyone else. And Jenna doesn't necessarily do the opposite thing of everyone else. She just does the different thing. Whatever the normal response would be. Jenna would not do that. I'm having another sip of the energy drink.
Oh yeah, I've been sipping on mine. I finished my cookie, so...
I gotta get me one of those cookies. I don't know why I got 12 of them.
So good. When do you... well, no, he's gone. I was gonna say we should take one to Micah, but he's
off with his lady friend. Yeah, as we'll call her. I think that's what was in my head when I got them, because I was like, I'll get 12, and that's like, 4 apiece, because I can do math. And then as I was on my way home with them, I thought, well, Micah's not there. And Jenna talks a big game about eating these things when I buy them. But then she'll eat like one of them and start claiming that, oh, I need to watch my weight and, la-di-da.
La-di-da. That's me.
Jenna stuff. Jenna's always walking around like la-di-daing all the time.
La-di-daing. And apparently sleeping with a gun at my nightstand.
Well, I mean,
my 2 pastimes.
Oh, I accidentally used my pickaxe to break leaves.
Wow, Rees.
Look, I'm a noob. I'm just following your lead on this.
I'm twerking really hard on this, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah, it's great because twerking sounds a lot like working, so there's a lot of good puns there.
Twerking really hard.
Twerking 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Twerking 9 to 5. That's a Dolly Parton song.
My older brother used to have the biggest crush on Dolly Parton, and whenever my sister was about to be born, he put in a major vote that her name be Dolly.
Which
and
sister?
My parents were like, we're not naming Melissa Dolly.
Ah, that would have worked. I don't know how to explain why, but in my head, I can totally see Melissa being called Dolly.
Did I tell you about Melissa's latest interest?
Oh dear. Tell me more.
She has decided that she's really into, like, Indian music.
Of
like
course she is. Like, native
really,
North
like,
American?
Bollywood.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so she sends me videos of her all the time singing this because she thinks it's, like, the coolest thing. And I don't... Oh, okay. I forgot the button.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I broke the tree.
Yeah. It's cool, Jenna. You do things your way. Okay, so your sister is now super into Bollywood?
Yes, and she sends me lots and lots of videos of her just like bobbing her head back and forth singing, but she doesn't know what she's saying. Like she has no idea what they're singing about.
So some of these songs could be super inappropriate.
Oh yeah.
And you've just got this wonderful blackmail footage of your sister just bobbing her head and being like, "Yeah, I love it."
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Definitely hang on to that stuff. That's the good stuff right there. That's the stuff you want to have. I was going to say when she graduates, but she's a grown woman, so I don't know.
She's graduated, married, the next big event in her life. I'm not gonna say her funeral because that would be harsh.
Oh,
maybe like a promotion.
That's
or
all
something.
she's got to look forward to now,
That's
though.
That's the next big event in her life. So.
Rip in peace. Is she not? Are they thinking about having a kid someday? Because that's a pretty big event.
No.
Okay. I mean, I can respect
just
that.
Like she's like I don't like the process.
Right. Of
the whole,
giving birth
like,
or
childbirth
raising or the making of the baby.
No, she loves kids. She loves all
I
that.
thought you were going to say
doesn't-
something else there, but okay.
She's not a fan of childbirth, and she never has been, and I can respect that because I'm the same way. So
who is a fan of the child birthing process?
I know exactly.
I guess doctors.